Yo, what's poppin', everybody? How y'all doing out there today? Welcome back to the podcast, another episode of Caffeine and Green with your man, Conor Cardenas. And before we get into it today, man, I just want to give a huge shout out to the title sponsor of Caffeine and Green, which is 7 Seas Roasting Company, coming straight out of San Diego, my home roaster. Now, what makes this roastery so sick is that we get to work with these farmers. We're not just getting these coffees, we're working with them directly and making sure that everybody's taken care of. So we're not taking care of just the consumer, we're taking care of that farmer as well. So it's really awesome. We get to showcase these coffees. Now, full transparency, I am the head roaster at 7 Seas. But regardless, you know that the coffee that I'm giving you is straight fire, yo. So if you head over to the website, 7seasroasting.com, use my code C&G at checkout, you're going to get 3 bags of coffee for $30. That's an amazing deal because 2 bags of coffee is essentially $32. So you're getting a bag for free. It's a no-brainer. So you can go over to the website, choose from any of the coffees that we have, like our dark Guatemala, which is chocolatey and it's full-bodied. It's a little bit of our dark roast. And, you know, it's just, we have other options. We have a Peruvian. We have our Lao coffees, the Fodom Quan, our new Lao, and Setapung as well. So we got options, people. So use that coffee code C&G at checkout, and you'll be good. My guest today, Manny Medina. He is so much more than just your average barista. If you're in the San Diego area and you're in the coffee community, you definitely have heard of Manny. If you don't know him, you've at least seen him killing it, winning latte art competitions, and just being pretty much the nicest dude on the planet. He has such an in-depth knowledge of coffee, and he's just super rad. Everybody that I had ever met in coffee has like, have you met Manny yet? Nah, I haven't met him. You need to have him on the show. After like the 5th or 6th person told me this, I reached out to him, and we scheduled it, and we made it happen. Please go visit my man down at Por Vida. Go say what up to him, get one of his amazing drinks that he's made, and just enjoy the ambiance that everybody creates down at Por Vida. Without further ado, Manny Medina. This your time to shine, homie. Let's go. Caffeine and Green. It's your boy Conor. What's good? Good. Caffeine and Green. What? Thank you. And we are live. My man Manny. Dude, what's your last name?
Medina.
Medina?
Yes.
Manny Medina?
Manuel Medina. Manuel Antonio Medina. That's my full name right there.
Damn, say that in the mic.
Manuel Antonio Medina.
Damn. Yeah. Welcome to Caffeine and Green, sir.
Thank you.
Salud.
Cheers.
Fuck yeah. That's how I like to start it. I usually just, whatever drinks we're having, and you actually brought us this hazy IPA, which is nice. Nobody ever brings me like an alcoholic drink, which is not fishing here. I'm just saying, it's like, whoa, you brought fucking what? Oh, actually, my homie brought a bottle of whiskey once. I do say that. Yeah,
okay.
That was a little much. Either way, welcome to the show, sir. I'm really glad you made it up.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Dude.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
I know. And
it's my first podcast, so
ever.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's see how it goes.
Dude, I'm popping that cherry, son.
I'm excited.
I saw your DMs and it was like, I'm excited for today. I'm like, I showed it to my wife and I said, dude, look how fucking sick this dude is. He's just like telling me he's hyped for today. Like, I appreciate that you want to like come on.
Yeah,
I'm like, dude,
forward.
fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
For a while.
You so you work at Por Vida, right?
Yes. I've been there since we opened, so almost 4 years now. Yeah. We opened back in November, what was it, 2015.
2015. Yeah. Did you, was that your first coffee job?
No, so I actually started at Starbucks maybe 2 years prior to that.
Okay.
So I've been in coffee for about 6 years now. And while I was working at Starbucks, I would go to Cafe Moto and sit there and just chill, like drink coffee. And then that's kind of where I got introduced to the specialty coffee scene while I was working at Starbucks. And then that I would like practice latte art right there.
Okay.
So while I was working at Starbucks, I would still try to do like latte art with the tools that I was given there, even though it was different. So I think that's where I kind of got into it. And then I started going to the throwdowns. So
the San Diego Coffee Network ones?
So the San Diego Coffee Network throwdowns, and at the beginning I was like shy and I would like get really shaky while I was steaming my milk, and I couldn't pour anything, but I think it was like just getting the nerves out, and then the experience of doing it. Yeah, it's helped me out a lot. So
sick. Well, that's one thing I wanted to get into too, because that's another thing that I heard about you, is that you have a reputation that you like walk up to a throwdown and you like look at what the prize is and you're like, yeah, I'll all right, I'll compete because that's like what I want or whatever. And everybody tells me like you just walk in, you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna slay it, like I'm gonna kill it. And then so it was that I had heard that preceded your reputation, and then I heard that they're the nicest dude ever. And then the third thing that I'd heard is like, bro, you haven't met Manny? That you have to meet this dude. And I was like, okay, like fuck, all right. And that's why I just reached out to you on Instagram.
Thank you, man. It was cool just hearing the podcast you did with Milo and Caro for the Por Vida one. So
sick, bro. Dude.
Thanks for the shout out and all that.
So. Of course. Well, they said that too. When I met Milo and Caro, they were like, you need to interview Manny. And I was like, I was like, you at that time, it was probably like the fifth person to tell me. And then leading up to all of this, more and more people have gotten hired at 7 Seeds. And my homie Josh Stinton, he's from like Portland. He said he knew, like, I don't know if he knows you or whatever, but he knows who you are. Okay. And he was like, bro, you have to have him on. And so it was like more and more people started telling me. I'm like, all right, dude.
It's cool because I do like go to the throwdowns, and then it's people that I follow like on Instagram. And then I see them, and it's like I see them there. So
sick.
It's just really cool how that community is growing, and the getting to meet people through the coffee world, and like how those throwdowns give you like that space to do it. So
yeah,
I like that. Yeah.
So what was the first latte art throwdown that you won?
The first one that I won was at James Coffee.
What year was this? Is this 2016?
This was last year, I believe.
Last year?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn. What?
So I think it was like the last one one of the last ones of the season.
Okay.
Last year, and then I believe I won that one. Yeah.
And then you just won the last one too, right?
Yeah.
Dude.
It wasn't the last one, no.
Well, there was just one that happened like a couple of days ago, but the one before that?
The one at the West Bean.
Okay. Yeah. Dude. So what did you kind of do to go through that? Because I've never competed in a latte art competition. I'm definitely not that good at latte art. But I see all these baristas. They'll just be kind of like shaky, or like, I know excellent baristas who can pour whatever, and I seen them try to pour like a Rosetta or something and just fuck it up.
Yeah, it's like, crazy because I feel like at a throwdown it's more like a nerves game, like, you know, mm-hmm. who could beat the nerves. Cause like myself, like when I started, I would get really nervous, and I think I got this. Like I've been practicing a lot, and then when I go up there, I start shaking. So it was definitely like a lot of mental work, and then getting prepared for that. So, I think that's helped me a lot. Just like understanding how I'm feeling, and like pretty much it's helped me like control my nerves while I'm up there, because it's definitely like a nerve game for sure.
They're pulling the shots, right? Like you don't have to tamp your own espresso or something. You just have to touch the milk.
All of this is your milk. So I also been like, my milk game is pretty much like perfect now. So I can say that. Yeah. So if you understand milk,
sick,
and you get milk, like then your latte art is gonna come out. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I think like understanding how to steam milk without doing too much. Yeah. Because like I could just steam milk, like set the position, get it there, and I know I don't have to move. I think that's helped me a lot too. Yeah. For the throwdowns. Yeah.
Dude, I appreciate going to watch all that, and then the fact that once you get into the actual like rice, what is it, like meat and potatoes, like the swans and the double whatever. Yeah. Did that come down to you and Asa at the last one that you just won? Yeah, was it swans?
I believe it was. So the round before that, it was both me and the girl poured swans. So, and then with Asa, I think we just did smaller tulips. Like I think we both poured tulips for the last one, but I think tulips is my favorite pour. So that's like my go-to pour.
That's your go-to.
Sure. Like at the end, I know I could throw some layers down. So
oh yeah, you counting your layers, yeah. Dude. For people who don't know what we're talking about, there's like this thing, and I've just become privy to it. But you know, I see baristas all the time that I follow, and they're like, "Oh, I got 12."
Yeah.
Like 12's like the number. I don't see a lot of people get
Yeah.
past 12, but how many do you?
I think right now I'm at like 15 for
15?
sure. Like solid 15, like for sure.
What
Yeah.
the fuck? Just shitting on the game, Sam. Both can't even touch your game.
No.
Do you? I mean, I'm jumping ahead here, but the one thing I wanted to ask is like you brought it up about Instagram and stuff. Do you watch people on Instagram and get inspired or feel motivated that you want to put your shit out there?
Definitely, because I watch a lot of like the videos that pop up on the feed.
Yeah.
That where they're making crazy pours, and like at first I didn't understand it, but like after watching it so many times, you kind of like, oh, like it clicks. So they're really been helpful for like my growth, like in my latte art.
Yeah.
Like watching other people's videos, because it's kind of like them teaching you, like, you know what I'm saying, like them teaching you like the keys.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like free education on the web, which is pretty cool. Like,
oh, dude, yeah, 100%. I mean,
yeah.
I've until I started working at Seven Seas, I had never poured latte art, not even once. Just steam milk and be good.
Yeah.
But now I can pour heart, so I can jump behind bar and do whatever. But I have one of our baristas teaching me. But everything else until then, all like the, when you pour it in to like do the base, essentially, yes. I learned that from Instagram. Mm-hmm. I just watched hella other. I'm like, okay, so this is what you have to do first.
It helps out. Yeah. And then after, I think the main thing is just practicing a lot. Like the more you do it, the better you're gonna get for sure. Like with anything. So, actually watching the right way to do it and then understanding how they're doing it, I think that's a big part. Like really understanding what's happening, and then, that's where you start the growth, I think, in your skill.
So you started in 2015 in your coffee career, and that was at Starbucks. Then you made your way over to Por Vida, right? That was the next progression. So were you essentially just self-taught, or was it all Instagram that how you learned how to do everything in like YouTube?
No, so while I was going to Cafe Moto, I met Adriana. She used to be the bar manager there.
Okay.
At Cafe Moto, and she do a lot of trainings while I was at the bar. So I just sit there and listen and take it all in. So in theory, like I had all the knowledge to make specialty coffee, but since I worked at Starbucks, I couldn't put it into practice.
Yeah, of course.
So I remember I was at a throwdown at Wholesome Coffee, and back in that time, I think it might have been like 2015, because when I started working at Por Vida. So
2015 when you started working at Por Vida.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No. So okay, when did I start working at Por Vida? It was like 4 years ago, 2015. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So then you had 2 years before that was in Starbucks.
Yeah.
So you've been in coffee since like 2013.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like there was a throwdown at Wholesome, and I remember Milo and Caro showed up, and Bucky, like this other person who helped with Por Vida in the beginning.
Yeah.
So, I remember I just went, because at that time was when I was starting to go to the throwdowns a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was a very different crowd back then. So I could definitely say like I kind of stood out a little bit, like
sick
from the crowd. And I was wearing like pretty much what I'm wearing, but like I had like a gold chain. Like I looked a little bit
steezy,
different,
bro.
Yeah.
No, I'm fucking with it. That's sick. That's
I looked
what I'm
a little
saying.
bit different, I could say, yeah. So Milo and Caro approached me after that, and they told me like their idea for Por Vida, and then after that, so
the rest is history.
So I've been there for a while now. And then
did you help with the build out?
No. So that's all like the look, everything that's Milo and Caro. So that I really help with the menu and all that. So
okay, like the development of the menu.
That's kind of where I came in, like more of the coffee knowledge, and then like all that. So.
Are you the head barista?
Yeah, I'm the head barista there at the moment.
Manager too, or just head barista? Oh,
yeah,
fuck
I help manage. Yeah,
dude. Okay, I have to say, the one thing about Por Vida that got me, and I told this to Avril and Caro and Milo, was that, bro, I walked in, and not only do you have the Virgin Mary right behind the espresso machine, I was like, bro, this is my grandma's house right here. I see Mar Dulce. And then I fucking see all the Lolos and the license plate and the Frida, and then you see like the Joker girl.
Yeah.
Like for me, I was all, bro, this is like I don't know. It just made sense.
Yeah.
I had told Leslie, my wife, I said, I didn't know about Por Vida at all. And then I was like telling her, I was like, I have this like sick ass idea. I want to like do like horchata latte. And she was like, oh, what? I've never heard of that. I was like, yeah, I know. And like, blah, blah, blah. And we started talking about certain things. I was like, dude, it could be like kind of this like Day of the Dead, fucking gangster rap type shit that I wanted to do. And she was into it. And then I told my barber and he was all, bro, that sounds like Por Vida down in the barrio. And I was all, what? And he's like, oh yeah, Salud Tacos. I was like, what are these places? And then I found them on Instagram and I saw the horchata latte. I saw the art and I saw everything. And I said, yo, I have to meet these people. And the next day I was there. I was like DMing Avril, and
I think I remember you coming in for sure.
Dude, I was like walking around, I was like looking there and shit. I like made sure I got off work early that day and go finish my like remote work from the coffee shop. And I came home and I was all, that's my spot. Yeah. Like I work and I love my shop. I don't get me wrong. Seven Seas is my heart and soul. But when I go in, like if people are gonna be like, yo, where do you want to chill? Por Vida's my cafe, son. Like the fucking menu, the lemonades, the artwork. I'm just like, bro, this is just
the vibe,
the
community.
Dude, there was oldies playing the first time I walked in. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I was like, it's like my pops right here. I was like, no. It for me, that's why when it came up that you were like the dude, I was like, oh, bro, he's having his own one. Then we'll get Por Vida. We'll get like Avril and Caro and Milo, and we'll get them on one, and then Manny will have his own, and then just like, dude, no, it's fucking sick. I mean, so one of the things I also too is like, with being such a good barista and recognized, especially in your local community, have you thought about entering any of the world competitions?
Definitely, that's one of my goals. My next goal is to compete in like the barista championships.
Yeah.
So,
are you gonna do the ones coming up?
I'm not sure about if I'm ready for the next one, but
okay,
I'm definitely thinking about it. Yeah,
dude, there's an open in Rancho Cucamonga that I'm gonna enter. It's a preliminary.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it for roasting, and if you win,
when does that come up? Do you know?
It's October, I believe.
Okay,
the beginning of October.
So, if I'm looking at the timeline right, then I might do it for this year. So.
Bro, if you want to go, let's just roll together. We'll just
down.
go.
Yeah, hell
because
yeah.
it's I know for if you get in the top 3, and I don't know about the barista because I only checked the roaster, but I'm assuming it's probably the same. If you get in like the top 3, you get an automatic spot in, I believe it's either Denver or Nashville, whichever one you pick. Okay. So you get a qualifying spot, so you don't have to like qualify while you're there. But then also I was looking at it this way. I said, if you suck and you kind of fail and you get like dead last at the prelim, that essentially you could get a spot, or you could just fly to that spot and get it. Mm-hmm. It's practice.
Yeah, it's like a second chance.
Second chance. And then you could just like, all right, well, now I have to eat the ticket because nobody's paying for the ticket. And then you just enter the competition and you're going to have to pay for
and
that.
It's pretty close by, you know what I'm saying?
Well, the one in Rancho is free. That's close by. The other two, which is nationals, are Nashville and Denver.
Okay.
So it's like, maybe a road trip to Denver might be tight.
That'd be cool. Talking about a road trip. Me and John are about to go on a road trip next week. So
yes, he was just saying about that to Vancouver.
Yeah.
And he was, did you walk into that? Yeah, I think you had gone to the bathroom. He was like, so tell me about some spots. Yeah. And it was all in North County? Like, bro, he's all,
not much. Yeah.
he's all, no, and like the Bay Area where you're from. I was like, oh, all right, I got you, son. Hell yeah. So what sparked that?
Just cause, so we were gonna go to Colombia, but it just didn't end up working out. So we already had the time off, so we're like, let's go on a road trip. Like, use the time wisely. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be nice to see the coast,
So you're gonna go to Vancouver? Do you have your passport?
Yeah,
dude.
Mm-hmm. I go to TJ a lot, so
dude,
I gotta have it. I literally almost 3 times a week. I'm in Tijuana, so
really,
yeah.
Like, why?
Just to go eat, go try coffee down there. Go,
dude. Yeah, I saw that you. Okay, let's get into that real quick because I know that they just had their first latte art throwdown.
No, so they've been having. I think this was their 3rd one or 4th one. They've been doing it for a couple times. So,
but you were a judge.
I got to judge this last time. Yeah, it was It's I really enjoy their throwdowns down there. Like the vibe is very different. It's kind of a little bit like a party because they got music.
They got some cumbia on or some salsa.
They got some brews going.
All right. Oh, okay.
They set up a cool vibe. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty chill. I definitely enjoy the events down there.
Sick, dude. Like I'm fucking with Mexico super hard right now. We have a bunch of coffee people coming up.
Yeah.
I just yesterday we had this guy. Francisco. I don't remember who he said he worked for. I'm so sorry, Francisco. He said he's like, dude, as soon as he met me, he was all, I listened to Caffeine and Green and like I follow 7 C's and he's like, I follow your personal page. I was like, what the
That's
fuck?
dope,
I was this sick, but he said he helped open, or he's one of the first of specialty coffee in Ensenada.
Okay, yeah.
And it was just...
Is it Barra de Café?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that's maybe what he said. There's so many people at the shop yesterday. Mm-hmm. Regardless, but shout out Francisco. He's the homie. If he's listening right now. And dude, it was just, he was like, dude, he came in and this is like a coffee dude who knows his shit. And he's like, your coffee's so good, bro. I was like, thank you so much. But then there's him. He's like, come down and visit. He's like, it's an hour and a half. I'm like, bro, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Would love to go down there and try your coffee and do these things. And then we have, do you know Bernardo?
Bernardo Figueroa, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, he's been coming to the shop a lot, and I talk to him, and we'll DM each other, like, about coffees and stuff. And it's fucking sick, bro. I mean, we're bringing in,
it's cool, like, making those, like, cross-border connections.
Yeah, so. And, I'm not gonna lie. I grew up, I identify as Mexican-American for sure. My dad's full-blood. But I didn't grow up speaking Spanish because my dad grew up in a different time where like he used to get like beat for speaking Spanish at school. So like for me, he didn't want me to learn Spanish. Mm-hmm. So, but as I've like, we were talking before the podcast that like I figured out like our family's from like Jalisco and like Nuevo Leon, I guess, like specifically in that area. So it's been like a whole new renewed thing. But I started learning Spanish. Probably I'm going on my 4th year now, and it's just like constant everyday practicing, going to, and already graduated from college, going back to college, taking like college classes, and just kind of like trying to do the damn thing. So I try super fucking hard when I'm trying it. And
that's cool that you're trying to reconnect to that,
dude. I mean, granted, like one of my homies was like, well, you're Native American. He's like, shouldn't you just be learning like Indian language? I was like, well, yeah, whatever, bro, I get it.
But you could use it more, the Spanish.
But yeah, my grandmother speaks fluent Spanish. So it's like, dude, the first time I ever spoke Spanish to my grandmother in like a full sentence, and she didn't even recognize my voice. She was like, who's this?
I bet she was proud though.
Dude, she was, I was like, it's Kano. And she was all, but I said it in Spanish, and she was like, what the fuck? It was so lit, dude. It was so sick.
That's cool.
So you speak fluent Spanish?
Yeah. So it's because at home, it was like my parents, they're like, you speak Spanish at home and then you speak English at school. Like, that's how I was raised. So.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
So you didn't speak English at home?
No, not at all. Cause they only spoke Spanish. So they were like, speak Spanish at home and you can speak all the English you want at school. Yeah.
Did they ever ask you to like teach them English for them to get around during the day or whatever?
No, it's weird. Yeah.
And they just got like they go to their spots or whatever.
Yep.
That's lit. Oh, so did you grow up here in San Diego?
Yeah, I grew up in San Diego. I've been born and raised San Diego. I grew up in a lot of the neighborhoods in like southern San Diego.
Okay. So where were you born? Were you born like Chula?
No. So when I was born, I think I lived like Shelltown area, and then we moved from right there to like Barrio Logan area, and then I've been in like southeast area now for a while, like Lincoln Park area. So.
Okay. Yeah, you were trying to describe that to me a little earlier, and I was like, okay, I think I know where that's at. That's cool, man. And so, what got you into coffee? Like, why did you want to start it?
So, it was kind of like an accident. My friend started working at Starbucks, and then she's all like, "Oh, they're hiring at my store," and I applied, and at first I didn't get the job. I had 2 interviews, and I still didn't get the job, and I was like, "All right," but then, no, actually, I had applied before my friend worked there, and then I didn't get the job, but then she started working there, and she's all like, "I could get you in," because now she knew like the manager, and then she's all like, "I could get you into Starbucks," and then I started working with Starbucks, and that's when I kind of sparked my interest in coffee because they have a coffee master program.
A coffee master program?
Yeah, and they tell you about that. But well, it's very basic now. Like if you think about it, like what they're teaching you, like
There's maybe like a ground knowledge of like green bean, like it grows from a tree type thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not like now, um, it was cool because it gave me like that spark, like that interest into what's my passion now. So
sick.
I definitely appreciate like that start in the Starbucks world, and it did kind of like prepare me for like the worst, because you kind of do see like it's very different, like going from working at Starbucks to working at Por Vida, where it's like a whole different type of people that go in there. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely feel like a at home at Por Vida, like in that community.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sick. Yeah. No,
So,
I mean, Por Vida is a specialty coffee shop.
Yes.
That's what they are. So you get to how should I say? Do you get to do education as well, like coffee education? So if you get a new coffee, because you guys don't roast your own yet,
yes.
but you'll get coffee from James, and James does a lot of in-depth knowledge about the education about coffee. So do you guys do the same thing at Por Vida for the baristas and stuff?
Well, what's cool is that I got to work at James Coffee for a while, so I got to learn a lot how they do things, and then since I do manage the bar, I was able to implement it into the other employees at Por Vida. So
yeah,
it's been definitely like
so you got like first-hand training from a specialty coffee shop it's at the one in Little Italy?
Yes.
Sick.
So when I started working at Por Vida, I started working at West Bean. So I was working West Bean and Por Vida for 2 years. I did that. And then as soon as I quit West Bean, I started working at James Coffee. So I only took about a week break between the two jobs.
You had 3 jobs?
No, 2 jobs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was working West Bean and Por Vida, and then I left West Bean after like a year, a year and a half, and then I took like a little week break, and then I started working at James. So
damn. Now was that because you were opening up Por Vida and that had like that connection there, or was it just like you just needed another job?
So I walked into James Coffee, and I was just talking to David because I don't know, I just like to talk to people, and then So and we do James Coffee, so I had that connection with David, and then I was just sitting there and I was just letting him know like, oh yeah, I put in my 2 weeks at West Bean, and then he's all like, oh, and he sat me down, and then Ewan was there, and they asked me like, oh, if I wanted to work with them for a while. So
sick. It
was cool that they gave me that opportunity to learn some things while working at that bar. So, cause David definitely has like some high expectations of just like how he runs things. So,
dude, see, that's another dude that I've been told like I have to meet.
Yes,
but he's helped Por Vida. He's helped Heartwork, because I had Rob Moran on the show, and then also Steel Mill. Yeah, all those boys up there.
It's really cool how he's so willing to share his knowledge and share and educate other people, and I love that from coffee, how you could just something you could give back to people, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it's open education. It's like what we were talking about earlier about the free education, just learning. I mean, that's essentially what the Instagram. If you're looking at it for things to learn, that's like free education right there.
Yep.
And so that's essentially what coffee is. I couldn't agree more. I mean, you don't give away everything, but you give away the basics.
Yes.
And it's like, hey, the rest you got to figure out on your own, bro.
But it is definitely a very transparent industry, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's also only so many coffees that you can really get, right? Yeah. Like, Colombia, Africa, Latin, Brazil, these things. And so it's like if somebody's like, oh, I have this amazing espresso blend. It's like, okay, bro, you have like a limited selection. I know where you're getting your shit from. It's just it basically breaks up to like flavor profiles. How are you able to manipulate the coffee a little bit better? But either way, that's so sick that, so David is just down. So what's it like working with him? Because I've heard he's very meticulous.
Yes, definitely, and everything he does. So it's cool just to take from him and learn because there's definitely good things that you could take from it, like
just more education. Do you do education about regions of the world and the height and how it's processed and all these other things, the height it was grown at, definitely. And all that stuff?
Yeah. So and they source their own coffee. So like from like they really know where it's coming from. So it's really cool. Like
direct, they're like farmer direct. So they don't use like Inter American.
No,
or anything
yeah.
like
So they use some of that, but they also have like their own.
their own relationships.
Yes,
that's amazing. That's fucking amazing. Do we do the same thing at 7Cs? But I really appreciate other companies that are taking that initiative to really. What should I say? How do I say this? How to like really connect with the farmer and really make sure that they're giving back in such a way that it isn't just benefiting like a third party.
Yes.
This is going straight into that farmer's pocket.
Yes.
And that's no hate or shade thrown towards anybody who's working for like an import or anything like that. There's definitely reason and need for all of that. But when, for instance, in Lao, it's like the Jai Coffee House Collective, I believe, is who we're working with. And they were saying that it says on like the website and everything that we deal with is like, dude, people are surviving on less than like $2 a day over there.
Yeah.
The poverty line is ridiculous.
The backside to coffee, like how the farmers are being treated. I think that's where we need more education, just even for the consumer, like educating them more, like, oh, this is where your coffee's coming from, and like maybe this is why we need to charge more. Like I think that should be like a cool like talking point to extend to the customers.
Dude, 100% agree. I mean, one of the things I think one of my favorite parts of my own job is education.
Yes.
Education, period. When you educate the entire staff about where this coffee's come from, what people have had to do to get this coffee to you in this cup, and everything that, from the roaster to the roaster's not the last link in the chain. The barista is the last link in the chain. And then just to even get that coffee experience across in the United States, you need customer service, friendliness, bubbliness, all that stuff. And then at the same time, you need to pull a great shot.
Yes.
And because you can mess it up all to the last part. But when you educate people and they're like, hey, And
it's just like taking the care, like this bean took so long to get it to you, and you're like the last person that's going to handle it. So it's like, how are you going to like show respect to this bean? Like, what I'm saying? Yeah. It's already been through it. Like the only thing you could do to it is like make it worse. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, that's the thing is my friend Turk, when we first had a discussion on the show before, he was like, you're a steward of your craft. I didn't invent what I'm doing right now. Yeah. You didn't invent barista. I didn't invent roasting, but we're stewards of a craft. So right now, like when you get a bean that, fresh roasted from James, boom, we're getting it in the hopper. You're pulling this shot. Your flavor, your energy, all that stuff is being exuded through that espresso shot. Your style, if you will. And then
how much care and passion you put into it. Yeah.
And then you got the tunes in there, so if you're feeling that energy's on it. And then I'm the same way. Like Turk, that's what he said. He was like, yo, you're a steward of your craft right now. And he's like, you're just trying to prep the next person who's going to take this on. And you got to like, you're setting an example almost. Yeah. And I feel that's another great thing about Por Vida is like, bro, the style, like you can have good product, but if your style is like budget, and that is like, and that translates or it transcends other, like, you can have your third wave shop that's like white countertops, black walls, and then you can have your like gray countertops with like all white everything, whatever. But it like sometimes like there's some hipster music or there's like old school rock or whatever. That vibe though, if you're putting it all into it, you're gonna get that out of that
Definitely.
coffee.
Yeah.
So, but Por Vida for me, like when I see what you guys are doing, I'm like, yo, this shit is so like, boom, son.
And I think it's really cool too, that we're kind of bringing a craft that, like it, for the community that we're in, they wouldn't have access to. You know what I'm saying? We make it very accessible to them, like very approachable. I think so. I think that's one of the things I really like the most about working at Por Vida, for sure. Like how approachable we made it to, and how we brought it to a community that probably wouldn't have got exposed to specialty coffee.
Yeah.
So.
Well, dude, it was so funny when I was talking to Milo. Milo said he read a Yelp review once, and somebody was like, "Oh my God, there was like this group of guys standing out front with tattoos on their faces, like we didn't even go in." And he was like, yeah, it was probably me and my homies, and we were probably just drinking hot chocolate. It's like,
it's true.
That's fucking Milo, bro. I was dying. But at the same time, I could see how it could be intimidating even just to see Milo because his Por Vida tatted on his fucking face. And that's before face tats were cool. So it just like, yeah, that's an intimidating guy. And then you meet Milo and he's just like the sickest dude ever. Yep. Like, what the fuck? He's like showing me all these artwork in like the little underground, like the employee area. Yep. And I was like, bro, what the fuck? Like,
Milo knows a lot of people, a lot of artists. So
dude, it's so
it's cool
legit.
The connections he has. Yeah.
Do you now growing up here and more of like maybe a little bit away from coffee, but because you're so close to Chicano Park, I mean, do you embrace like Chicano Park Day and you just like get hyped because have them from like a Mexican background? Definitely. And like
yes, just the whole community there, like Barrio Logan as a whole, like just being a space for brown people, and then just feeling really at home. And then you definitely, I could say that Barrio Logan was the first place I felt like that sense of community. And then just having all those events that celebrate like the culture and everything, and seeing like the lowriders out, and then the hot sun, the music's going. So it's really cool. Like, and then having been there 4 years now, and then just seeing the growth and like in the whole event and all that, like it's really cool just seeing how more people are being exposed to it, being getting to know like, okay, this is what they're doing. Like it's nice. Yeah,
dude, I mean, I missed it this year because I ended up having to work, but next year I'm going. I wanted to go so bad, bro. I was just watching on Instagram, and I was in Orange County because we were opening up the other shop, and I was just sitting there watching on Instagram like, oh, this is tough. I was like, I want to be there so bad. I want to see like the parade, or like when they're in Chicano Park and they had all like the native like headdresses on and shit. All I want to see is that.
It's amazing that the whole ceremony they put on, and like seeing the Aztec dancers, and then it's definitely a great time. Yeah, you gotta check it out. Yeah.
Sick. So so would you consider yourself like Chicano, Latino? It doesn't matter to me because either way, I got love for everybody, but I know there is some like division on that.
I don't like to label myself.
Perfect.
But I'm definitely
just Mexican. Yeah, killing it. Just loving life.
Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brown and proud for sure. Yeah.
Say it loud. I'm brown and I'm proud. Yeah. That's fucking legit, dude. So where is your family from specifically in Mexico?
They're from Mexicali, which is in Baja California still, but it's really hot there. That's like.
Is it really hot there?
That's what it's known for. It's the capital of Baja California, but it's just like a hot desert area.
Dude, yeah. Fuck. And what, when you were growing up here, did you find like any difficulty like just getting through, or like everything was pretty chill?
I had a pretty chill childhood. We did like move a lot, like in neighborhoods and while I was younger, but then that was probably like the only thing. Like yeah.
Have you shifting gears a little bit, but like just back to coffee, have you gone to Origin yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
That's like one of my goals.
Is that a goal for sure? Now, are you, you said you've been in coffee for 6 years. Have you thought about what you want to kind of do career-wise? Do you want to go into like green buying, into roasting? Do you want to like...
So actually, with Por Vida, our next move is we're moving into roasting, and we're working on a new location, and we're gonna have in
North Park, right?
No, so it's actually on 19th and Imperial. It's still kind of like a Logan area.
What?
Kind of bordering like Shelltown. So, it's gonna be a really cool space because I believe he's gonna have like Milo's gonna put in like other people in there, like other
kind of like James.
Yes,
sick.
So, it should be a cool space, but I'm super excited because it's gonna give me like that chance to learn roasting, and then
dude, you're gonna start roasting.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Congratulations, bro. Congratulations.
We'll still have like James for a while. I just want to get started into it, get learn it a lot. So,
dude, if you ever need any help,
I'm down.
Let me know. I fucking will definitely shoot any tips I have towards you. Yes. Do you know what kind of roaster you're gonna have?
So it's the old roaster they used to have at James, the 3 kilo, I believe. Yeah. So.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever saw that one. So.
I didn't see that one, but I mean, do you know if it's a single drum, double drum?
I'm not sure.
No. Do you know if it's like like gas burners? If it's propane?
I believe it's electric. Yeah.
It's electric.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you have to plug it in. Do you know, like? But is it natural gas line with two burner rows? Like, is it a Probat?
No.
No. Is it a Loring?
No. I don't. I'm not sure
what type of roaster it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when you find out,
yeah,
shoot me
let you know
text,
for sure.
let me know, and we could I can definitely help you out, dude. If you're ever
I'm
interested,
down for some pointers. Yeah.
Dude, that and then what's your cupping game like right now?
So me and John actually we cup a lot. Like
okay,
that's a lot of our free time. That's what we do. Like so. Just,
at your own house and stuff.
Yeah. So if you see like my stories, I'm usually cupping at his house. So. Yeah.
Dude, that's fucking crazy.
It's cool because so my homie John works at Bird Rock and I love their coffee for sure. Like, cause through him I was able to get exposed to like a lot of like beans that have been like amazing to my palate, like expanded my palate for sure.
Yeah.
So I love Bird Rock, yeah, and then they give us like samples, so it's been cool, like just getting to cup a lot, yeah.
So when you're getting samples, are you just getting all types of beans from all over the world and just trying to like do the whole process? For anybody who's listening who is not into coffee, we're gonna geek it out a little bit here. You would essentially grind the coffee, and then you're trying to build your palate through your olfactory bulb and like smell it and identify these smells and really try to commit them to memory, if you will. And then at the same time, that's only one part of the process. Then you got to like get it hot, and then you got to steep it, and then you got to smell that, and then you break the crust, and then just like cup. And do you cup right after the 4-minute mark, or do you cup like maybe after 10 minutes?
Maybe like 8-minute mark.
8-minute mark.
Yeah,
okay,
so
yeah, solid.
Yeah.
So I
once it's cooled down a little bit, yeah, we don't want to burn ourselves.
Well, I mean that's also too. It gives you better taste of the coffee. Me myself, I definitely cup when it's super boiling hot, and I do it throughout the whole process, even when it's cold.
You want to get the whole spectrum, full spectrum.
Dude, I do, and at the same time, it's also at a fault, because you'll end up burning the shit out of your tongue.
Yeah,
and then it's like, okay, well, I'm kind of fucked for the rest of the day on this, But I mean, that's interesting that you say you do it at your house. That's amazing, dude. I have to start doing that because I see Siri Cimarron doing that at her house. With a bunch of other people.
We have a pretty cool setup. So we already like after a while, because we did it, we literally got into it for like 5 months, like just cupping almost every day, and we got a pretty big setup for like 36 coffees around there, huh? Yeah.
36.
How many? What's the biggest one we did? Oh yeah, like 28. So
28 coffees all at once.
All at once. So.
Yeah.
After a while, it was like, oh. We got excited. But we were like,
hey, fuck it. So for people like the homie John said 28 coffees, and I mean that's definitely a lot of palate fatigue. I mean, you're on a delayed, like a ladder, right? Yeah.
It was that was the biggest one, and it was a little heavy. So,
dude, I think I did the most in one cupping that I ever did was probably I want to say like 12 or 13. At once, like not at once, but I did like 7, and then I did it all the way through, did it, boom, and then I set up another like 6.
And then just having all that caffeine in your system, you definitely start feeling.
You don't spit,
even with spitting, like
it still just stays on your tongue, dude. Yeah. Have you had any? I was talking to Siri and Jay about this a couple months back. When I was. Well, I guess since I've started working at 7 Seas, having as much control over all the coffee that's being pumped out of that place, I was drinking espresso, just like lungo espresso shots, 40 grams, railing them. Bro, and one day I drank 6 lungos at 3:30 in the afternoon because I was sampling coffees with one of our accounts. And I didn't go to sleep probably till like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And it was like, oh, yeah, it's fine. It's cool. I had no problem. And then come to find out, I started stressing out, and I was doing the podcast, and I was drinking so much and like smoking, and then like drinking all this fucking coffee at work. I started having like esophageal spasms.
Damn.
That the doctor told me that, and they were like, "How much coffee do you drink a day?" And I told them, and they were like,
Yeah,
"You need to like cut that like 3/4 down, bro." And then on top of that, they're like, "How much do you drink alcohol?" And I was like, at the podcast at that time, I was like, well, every guest was coming over, I was just getting lit with, so it was like a lot. And then, you know, all this stuff, and it just added up. But they were like, the coffee has a lot to do with it. So for me, now I
that's
seriously,
like a lesson I had to learn for sure. Like the amount of coffee I was drinking, cause
yeah,
I was putting those espressos down for sure. Like cause especially when you're at the bar, you're just like, oh, let me drink a shot, let me try the coffee. You're trying the coffee all day long, so after a while, it gets kind of intense, and you do feel that shake in your body, and it's
dude.
like, ooh.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, I'm on one right now.
And then especially when you don't have it for like a day or two, and then you start getting those headaches, and then like maybe I should take a little
Dude, those
break.
caffeine headaches are when
those
you're drinking that much.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, they're like death.
It's intense. Yeah.
They really are. I mean, I walk into the cafe first thing and I'll taste every coffee that's on there. But now instead of drinking actual cups of it, I take an espresso cup for everything.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. All right, cool. That one's good. Try that one. And then I make my way, hit like the tiniest amount of cold brew, hit that. And then I hit both of our espressos. Single shot, 2 of those, boom. That's my coffee pretty much for the entire day.
Yeah.
And
you got to control yourself. Yeah.
Bro. I can't even. I've, multiple other coffee people, but it's interesting that nobody really talks about that part.
Yeah.
Like, coffee's amazing. It's good. But it's like, dude, you drink too much. You are fucked up, homie. And it's like, oh my.
At first, I didn't understand how the people were like, oh, it's 3 p.m. I can't have coffee anymore. And then after a while, you're like, oh, I get it now.
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like I still drink my afternoon cup for the most part, maybe like 2, 3 o'clock. But that's by no means powering me through the night. Like, if I'm going to go to the gym and work out, I definitely need more than just like a cup of coffee. I'll still be in there like, I hate this. Hella sluggish. You know what I mean? Like, but dude, yeah, I'm glad you had to learn the hard way. What happened for you?
No, it's just like drinking too much caffeine. Like,
but nothing happened where you had like esophageal spasms?
No. I just knew like when my body was like, oh, you having too much, like you start shaking and things.
You just feeling like you're running 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Yeah. And then when you like start needing it like every day, and it's like, no, dude, not good. Yeah.
So with that being said, you're kind of this trip coming up, going up to Vancouver. Are you going to like map out coffee spots?
Yes, definitely. We want to hit up a lot of coffee spots. That's like a big part of the trip. Big thing we want to do, like hit up a lot of coffee shops on the way up, because there's definitely like a lot of the coffees we look up to.
Okay.
Like on the way, so.
Especially in the Bay Area.
Yeah, Bay Area, Seattle, Portland, Oregon. So it's gonna be cool, like getting to see all those shops there.
How long is your trip gonna be?
About a week and a half. Yeah.
And you're just gonna drive?
Yes.
Like, San Diego up?
Yeah.
Damn. Do you have like a point? Do you kind of have it all mapped out, like points of where you need to be at certain times?
Not really.
Not really.
We're gonna work that out tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay. Fuck yeah.
Just
Dude,
going with the flow, you know.
I definitely would say, in the Bay Area, go to St. Frank's on Polk.
Yes.
St. Frank. I didn't work at St. Frank. I worked right up the street from St. Frank for about a year. So I'd go there all the time. That was like the first time I ever had like a almond milk cappuccino. And at the time I was like, this is fucking amazing. Yeah. Now I can't stand those things. But at the time I was like, oh, this is a specialty coffee shop? What is this? Yeah. But I also, they played Migos in there. So I was like, coffee shop's playing Migos right now? But it's not like that now. But at the time, they were tight. But that place is really good. And then there's also like Sight Glasses there. There's Do you know of any like Tartine? Smaller coming up shops like in the area? Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know them off the top of my head, but when you guys go next week, yeah, I'll have some shit lined up for you. Okay. Yeah, I'll have some shit lined up for you. For sure. Definitely, you can definitely hit Oakland too. Mm-hmm. Oakland has some spots. A lot of people are over there now because it's so much cheaper. Yeah. I would definitely say you don't really have to go anywhere else in like the South Bay. There's nothing really out there. Then I was gonna say, oh, that's still too close. I was gonna say like maybe hit San Luis Obispo, maybe some coffee on the way up. If you're gonna take the 101, but you have to take the 101 to get there.
We want to take the 101.
Oh,
check
you
out
are? You are? Okay. In that
coast.
case, that fucking case, definitely hit San Luis Obispo for sure. And if you can, dude, maybe don't even fucking go to the Bay Area right away. I would say go to Santa Cruz and Capitola and go see Cat and Cloud.
Okay.
Cat and Cloud, I haven't
we were
been
like,
there.
What can we see in Santa Cruz? But I forgot Cat and Cloud was there. Yeah.
Dude, I have never been there, but I love what Chris Baca's doing, and I love that whole vibe. So I'd really, really like to see that. I still haven't been myself, but I would definitely recommend it. Temple, California? Oh, no. I've never been there. But I was going to say, I've been to Templeton, California. There's nobody there. There's like, I think on the city limit, it says 500 people. But yeah, so definitely hit Santa Cruz up there. And plus, Santa Cruz is just fucking chill. Yeah. You'll be into it. It's definitely got a vibe of OB, but NorCal vibe.
Okay.
Like central NorCal. If you're going to continue to take the 101, I would definitely say maybe hit Monterey before you hit Santa Cruz, because Monterey is fucking beautiful. Big Sur's out there.
We want to hit up Big Sur. Yeah.
I don't know if the pathway's open yet, but I'm sure there's some way to get there. Mm-hmm. Dude, also, too, if you're going to take the 101 the whole way up, go to Cayucas.
What's that?
Oh, dude, Cayucas is fucking G. So they have, it's like C-A-Y, like U-C-A-S. Yeah, that's right. And then it's by Morro Bay, M-O-R-R-O-B-A-Y. Morro Bay is like, has this like chill surf spot, and there's like a bunch of rocks around there. And then you also go up to Cayucas, which is up the road a little bit, and it's a little 2-lane town. Ooh. They have a sick mini ramp there. I don't know if you skate, but regardless, it's a sick mini ramp. And then they have a sick ass surf break, and they have I believe it's the oldest bar in California.
Okay.
They redid the entire thing, but the front of it is still the original paneling from like the 1800s or some shit.
Okay.
It's fucking legit, bro. I don't know. It's a chill little spot. It's a chill little part of town. There's nothing really there, but it's beautiful.
We'll check it out.
So yeah, that's on the way up to Slow. Slow for sure for coffee. Yeah. Dude, go there, bro. It's a hidden gem in Cali. I swear to God. I know I'm putting it on blast right now, but like, let's be real. There's not like a million people listening to this, so it's fine. But definitely go to Cayucas. 100%. My favorite part of California. Monterey, if can. Santa Cruz, if can. But be careful, because there's only one way to get back over from Santa Cruz, and that's basically either you keep going north or you take the 17. And the 17 is windy as fuck. So just be very prepared. Probably don't smoke. Be super sober on that road, and then go into the bay. And then Boast Coffee in fucking San Jose.
Okay.
I don't know dudes. I've never been there, but they fuck with the podcast real hard, and they're like wizards at cold brew apparently. And I've had one dude that I met down here tell me about them. He's like, yeah.
What was it again?
Boast Coffee.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to the homies. And so that's in San Jose, and then basically just work your way up and go into the city, and like you'll be on East Bay side if you stay. You can either keep going up the 101, it'll take you right into San Francisco, or you can get on like the 880 and go into Oakland. Either way, you can end up getting to the city.
Hit up both places. Yeah.
Dude, definitely hit up Oakland. Oakland's sick as fuck. City's tight as fuck too, don't get me wrong. But there's a lot of sick shit to do in the city too. And then I'd just say to start heading north and just get up towards Oregon as fast as possible, because then you're just going to get like bombarded with amazing coffee there too.
And we're actually trying to pick up like a couple of coffee bags, because we're working on a project with Q Coffee Lab in Tijuana. And they have a space at Estación Federal, is this little center, and then we're trying to like do like a cupping with them, so with all the coffees that we bring down. So
oh, what?
Yeah,
like roasted coffees?
Yes.
Dude,
from all the roasters that we hit up.
Dude, come to 7 C's as your first spot, and then take on your shit, and then we'll just give you a bag of coffee.
Yes, I'm
I
down.
want to be on that mix.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Dude, what day are you leaving next week?
On Friday, right? Yeah.
This Friday?
Yeah.
Dude, come by the. You leave in the morning?
Yeah.
What time?
You work? Oh yeah, I work. So
leave in the afternoon. Yeah. All right. I'll set aside a bag of coffee for you guys, and it'll be the first fucking bag, if that's cool, because I know you work at Por Vida, so I know you got James.
No, we're down.
Dude, fucking come to the spot, and I want to fucking get in that mix. I want to see how like it's gonna compare to everything that you're gonna get.
It'd be cool that if you guys can make it down there too. Yeah.
Dude, so I'm fucking down.
We'll set up. We'll put out a little flyer out, and then we'll let you know.
Dude, I'm fucking. You tell me when to be there, I'll be there. Yeah. You just say, hey, dude, we're gonna do it then. I'll be like, yeah, I'm there. You're getting a verbal commitment right now. I'm 100% down for that. Where would that be at?
It's called Q Coffee Lab.
In Tijuana. You would do it in TJ?
Yeah.
Oh.
So we're trying to bring a little bit of that cross-border mix, like bring people from the States down there and then expose them to Mexican coffee too, like give them a little tour of TJ Coffee.
Dude, I'm so down for that.
We got something on the works with that. Yeah.
Please let me know. When do you think that's gonna? Have you already planned out when it's gonna be? Maybe September.
So as soon as we get back, like maybe like August 20th around there.
Yeah, it'll be soon. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be like almost immediately.
Yeah. So the coffee's fresh. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay, so you're gonna be gone for a week and a half, then you come back. So probably like August.
Yeah.
First couple weeks of August.
Yeah. We'll have a little flyer, little something. Post it on social media, and then hopefully y'all can make it out. Yeah.
Well, dude, I was just talking to Eric, the owner, and our digital marketing media guy, and I was telling Eric, I said, hey, dude, we should go to TJ and meet up with Bernardo and have him show us around and just like do a day.
Yeah.
And this would be the perfect event to do it. Be like, there's a purpose of why we're going down there now. We'll meet up with Bernardo. We can like go to this event and then fucking like document it and do whatever for like the coffee stuff. But also it'd be like, dude, we're hanging out with the homies.
Yeah.
And we're going to try some fucking sick ass coffees.
That'd be dope. Yeah.
Dude, just fucking give me a working date whenever you guys figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can make that happen.
For sure.
Because it'd just be a day
Love
trip,
to have
right?
You there, brother. Yeah.
Dude. I just got excited.
And then it's like the space is cool because you literally cross the border and you could walk to the space where we're going to have the event at.
Really?
Yeah. And then you could just cross back, walking, and then.
Damn.
There's no wait. Like literally, when we do it, when we cross back, the most we've waited is like 30 minutes.
Walking. Oh, you go on the like that other spot.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna put it on blast because that's the spot I go to too. Like there's the normal line that'll take fucking hours, and then you go off to the other spot, and it's like,
yeah,
bloop, 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 right across. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna go to that one. So it's on that side.
Yep.
Sick. Okay. Hell yeah. Do you ever go to Cholos games?
No, not really.
They're so fun.
Yeah.
They're so fun. Dude, the beers there are so fucking cheap.
TJ is another like whole trip for sure. Like they're on another vibe. Like,
do you ever go to like the food spots there?
Yes.
Like have you been to Crema y Verde?
Or
Verde?
Alma Verde.
No, it's Crema y Verde.
No, I'm not sure.
Dude, it's a spot by the stadium.
Yeah.
And it's a super fucking good restaurant.
They kill it. Like, their food game is, like, on another point. Yeah, like, another level for sure. Yeah.
Dude, the quesadillas that you can get there are, like, not even... there's, like, no cheese in it. It's just all meat with, like, sprinkles of cheese. Yeah. I fucking love it there.
Mexican food, yeah. Like I said, I'm down there, like, 3 times a week. And that's mainly what I go for to go eat. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I hit up Telefonica a lot, which is, like, this... kind of look like a little area with like food trucks, and they got some really good food right there.
Damn.
Have you heard of Corazón de Torta?
No.
You know, it's like this food truck here in San Diego, but the chef that made their menu, he has a location in the Telefonica, like that's where he has his restaurant, and it's amazing Mexican food. It's called La Carmelita. So
Carmelita?
Yeah.
Sick.
It's really good. It reminds me of like my grandma's cooking for sure.
Oh,
my mama's
shit.
cooking, yeah. So.
Dude, I just had Sergio on here the other day, and he was like, I'm not really a tamale guy. Yeah. He's like a guisado guy.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, because like...
And Sergio's food is amazing.
Dude, he's at 7 Seas now.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
What day?
Sundays.
Okay.
So I finally had his tacos yesterday. I was all, fuck yeah, dude. I was so pumped with like some espresso and just a couple tacos. Yeah. Bro.
They're so good, yeah.
I was fucking with it. So are you, what are you? Are you a guisado or a tamale guy?
I like the guisado tacos for
Yeah?
sure. Yeah.
Dude, I love them too, but I love it all. Cause like, like I was telling him about how, like my wife just made tamales. Or no, she's made tamales now. It's the second time. But when we went last Christmas, we showed up and all my cousins were there, or like not all of them, but like some of them. And it was like my pops and like my uncle and like a couple of my other cousins. We're all just making tamales, and then like my wife is making them, and it's like, bro, to me, tamales
It's like
are
a
the
whole
best.
family event. Like,
Yeah,
y'all sit around the table, put in the
bro,
masa on the leaf. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
it's the fucking best thing ever. I honestly, I don't even care. I'll just put on some tunes and just sit there.
Yeah.
And it was hella funny. My grandmother would like tell my wife, she'd be like, "No, you put too much.
Yeah.
Like, it's too much masa. You know, like just putting it on there." And like, but then you got my dad who's like doing like hella stick fan. I'm like, bro, what are you? Fuck you doing?
She
Bro?
doesn't
You gotta
tell
put like
him
a nice,
anything.
yeah. You gotta do it nice,
Yeah.
bro. And then I'm like my cousins, like some of them became vegetarians, and my grandma was sitting there making like vegetarian tamales. I was like, what is that? And she was like, oh, Elizabeth's a vegetarian.
I would
now.
eat
was
those.
like,
I'm vegetarian myself.
bro,
Yeah.
I would give my cousins so much shit. No hate, but I was all, bro, you've been eating meat your whole fucking life. You're gonna make grandma make these fucking vegetarian ones now? And she's like, what?
Hey, but she's down because like I haven't had like a tamal in a minute, so it's cool that she makes it for them.
Oh, dude. Well, because we make them once a year, it's like everything else, every other part of the year, my grandma will be like, I think, what's the El Supermercado up there is the, I want to say it's like Pancho Villa, but it's not the Pancho Villa down here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a Cardenas, like a Cardenas one or whatever. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And so she would get like tamales from there, but they're like legit, but it's nothing like
it's not
what
the
we
same.
do. Yeah,
Like,
dude.
Whatever your family makes is like the best. Always,
Yeah,
you know
always.
Yeah.
Dude, my tia, she came from Sinaloa, and she used to make the bombest enchiladas. And I haven't had her enchiladas in probably like over 25 years. But damn, when she came straight from over, she was like, she had to have been in her early 20s, something like that. And she came over and was making them. And my grandma would make her tamales, and then she'd make her enchiladas. They were fucking amazing, bro. I could not.
I don't know what it
believe
is. Something in the way they cook. Yeah.
Dude, growing up in the Bay Area, I never went out and ate Mexican food. It just didn't happen. I went to a couple spots, maybe, but I'm like, I didn't start eating out Mexican food until I came to Southern California.
I feel like the farther you get from the border, the worse the Mexican food gets.
Bro.
Like for some reason,
Like
I told LA. Like I
shit.
can't even do LA Mexican food. Like to be honest. So.
Me too. I remember. I just talked about this the other day. I said I couldn't believe it the first time I went to LA after I had moved into San Diego, and I lived in LA for 5 years. I went to a place and I was like, oh, they don't have a California burrito here. And they didn't even know what it was. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, why don't we call it a San Diego burrito?
And they put like rice and beans in the burritos, and like it's weird. Just like
dude, I honestly still think, well, I don't understand why they call it a California burrito when nobody else in the state does it except for San Diego.
The San Diego burrito. Huh? They should have trademarked it. Right
dude,
there.
what's your go-to burrito spot?
Umberto's on 25th or
dude, that's what my fucking homie Woogie's girlfriend said the other day in North Park.
Yeah,
that's what she said. She's like, that's the spot. Umberto's on 25th.
Especially when you're like faded, it's like nighttime. Like they're open 24 hours, so maybe that's why it tastes so good. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's mainly when I have it. You know?
All right. What do you have any other spots like even down south?
Maybe Tacos El Paisa. Yeah. Or Tacos El Gordo, yeah.
Dude, okay, I asked her about that. Like my homie Woogie's girlfriend, I forgot her name, but she was saying Tacos El Gordo because I told her, I was like, I've heard there.
They're like probably like the closest thing to the TJ tacos, the Tacos El Paisa.
What about Cuatro Milpas?
Oh, that's like grandma's cooking 100%. Like, yeah.
I haven't been there either, but I want to go there.
Yeah, you gotta check it out. The line gets a little crazy. Like if they have a really long line the whole day, but it moves pretty fast and it's definitely worth the wait. I would say, yeah. And I grew up on that food, so it's like,
dude, no, I did too.
Yeah.
I 100%. I loved all that shit. That's why I love pozole. Dude, my grandma would make these fucking stews with tripe in it. When I was a kid, and I just remember like, ugh, like, what is that?
Menudo,
yeah, she'd make menudo.
That was one of my favorites. Like,
oh, dude,
sure,
my uncles, we'll go out to like this one Mexican restaurant that everybody kind of like approved of. I can't remember the name right now. It's in Fremont somewhere. And my uncle would, it didn't matter if it was hot, it's cold, whatever. It's menudo. That's all he wanted. He'd just be sitting there grinding it down.
Especially, it's weird because like Mexican moms tend to make like on really hot days they like to make like stews or like really hot foods. So that's kind of what I grew up on. Like, and it's weird because they say like, oh, it cools you down like when your body gets hot. Like,
dude, that's my dad. My dad would be like, think cool. Yeah. It's hot outside. Think cool. Like, what do you mean think cool, bro? It's fucking hot outside. Dude, my did your grandma ever make like her own salsa, like some super hot salsa?
Yes. Yeah.
Dude, my grandmother has a chili pepper plant outside of her front house, or the front of her house, and it'd be so funny, bro. I lived with her for a year, but I knew that this happened because I only pretty much go to the Bay for Christmas. It gets hella cold in Fremont, and my dad or my grandma would go out and do it during the night or like early night. But then if my grandma forgot, my dad would do it, or I'd have to go do it. But we'd have to put a fucking blanket, like a sheet, if you will, over the ghost pepper plant, and just to make sure that the fucking chiles didn't get like frostbite on them.
They care for their chiles.
Dude, hella gnarly. And so then my grandma would be I was talking about this the other day. It was like she'd be making the salsa, and she was like correcting me. She's like, I was going too slow. She's like this, you know, like showing me how to cut it. And but then she'd also like try it, and she'd sit there and like get a chip and try it, and I'm like, Grandma, you all right? She's like, yes, spicy. You see my uncle sitting there like hella breaking sweat, like, ama, the fucking salsa's it's hot.
But you still keep putting more on it,
dude. Always, bro. Like, my wife wrote down the salsa recipe for my grandmother, and then we made it the first time, and none of my homies could eat it because it was too fucking spicy. I'm like, damn. Okay, this is what she meant by
John's dad's salsas are pretty like
they're tough.
Some of the best salsas I've had for sure. He kills it. Yeah.
Dude, I would love to try those. Yeah. Dude, I love any type of salsas.
I'll bring you some.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. All homemade?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll just drop it out by the shop even if you're not there.
Yeah. Down as fuck. Do you mess with a bunch of spicy stuff?
Yeah, I mess with the spicy food too.
Me too. Always.
Since I went vegetarian, I've been eating a lot of like Indian food, and they mess with the spice too. So.
Oh, dude, yeah. Thai too. Have you gotten into Thai food?
Thai food?
Oh, fuck, bro. So one thing, you know, you did say you were the lead barista of Por Vida. So assuming that you're because of that, you come with the responsibility of designing the menu.
Mm-hmm.
So is all of the like horchata lattes, the Por Vida latte, a lot of the cinnamon spice and the like almost the abuelita hot chocolate in a sense. For anybody who doesn't know, it's like a Mexican hot chocolate, if you will. But like those things, and the Mexican hot chocolate that's on the menu, and then maybe even the pan dulce. Did you come up with all that, and the lemonades as well?
Yeah. So a lot of the drinks were my ideas or ideas that they brought into me, but I definitely executed all of them. Like found out like, oh, I think this is how like it would taste, and then
sick.
Brought them into like pretty much made them. Yeah. So.
Sick. So just trial and error.
Yeah, trial and error. Well. I guess I'm pretty good at like figuring like flavors out, and it was easy like trying to like I'm like I kind of have a good sense of just prior knowledge of how to make things like
well you have a developed palate as well. I mean that also comes with your cupping
all the time. So I think a big part of like being able to make things is the palate training for sure, like really knowing what you're tasting.
Yeah.
And then that's where figuring out like, oh, I could put these things together and they'll give me this flavor. So
yeah, it's really understanding what tastes good together and not thinking like, oh, this is okay, but it's like, you know, for one bite, it like really enhancing that experience that it's like, whether it's a liquid or a food, that somebody wants to come back to it and continue that experience. So when you're designing these drinks, do you become inspired? Do you like take music, or is it more based on palate? Based on the palate,
and a lot of the flavors is like things I grew up with, and then it's kind of like creating my own interpretation of like this.
Yeah.
All these drinks that or things like even candies and from my childhood, and then bringing them into like life, you know what I'm saying?
So you apply that. When you say these things, I'm envisioning the lemonades and then like the rims. So like, is that where you really get to kind of expand on those, like maybe the candy flavors or something like that, or
Yeah.
you like
Even like the masapan latte, or like things like that. You know what I'm saying? So,
dude, we actually just did a drink. It's like a champurrado,
Yeah.
but it's like we call it the El Champo, and it's like there is masa in it, but it definitely has like a unique flavor. Like somebody wouldn't know unless you know like
Yeah.
that Latino culture or Mexican culture, I should say. But it's pretty inspiring to see somebody doing that, and I appreciate it to see all that shit. Like when you who came up with the idea with the lemonade? Was that already kind of in place, or did you were like, hey, I want to do that?
I made like a lemonade. Like a lot of the drinks, it was like I was drinking like like the Jamaica. I was drinking like a Quincy tea from Moto. Like that's what I would drink, and then I would make things for myself, and then I give them to try it, and like, oh, we could add this to the menu. And
Sick.
then, like, one day I like just made myself a lemonade. Like I had some limes, and then I made myself a lemonade, and then gave him to try it. And then
What
Milo's
about the
like,
rim?
That was Milo's idea, the rim part.
Yeah.
So he was all like, we should rim this, and then so it's kind of like, I think the cool part about working in Por Vida is like a lot of creative minds in one space, and then with that comes like great ideas. So
sick.
Just having that creative minds in there, yeah, working together for sure.
You're designing the menu, you're doing these things, and I love the passion behind these drinks. As stepping away from the bar and the menu, are you able to like let that go and then go into roasting and like embark on something that's going to be completely foreign in a sense?
Definitely, because I feel like with anything, I have the eagerness to learn more things.
Yeah.
And I feel like at the barista point, like I've learned a lot, and not that I've hit like a plateau for sure. I definitely like hit like plateau like in what I'm learning. So it's definitely cool to be able to transition into something new while still being in the coffee industry.
Sick.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome, man.
And I'm excited for it. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. So. Dude, I'm telling you, you have a network now. Like, you're part of the Caffeine and Green fam. And that means, for me at least, I can at least, every roaster that I know, just if you ever need help, bro, we got like got the homies.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Fuck yeah.
I appreciate it, yeah.
Dude, well, let's wrap it up. We've already done it way over an hour, and it's getting kind of late. But dude, tell the people where they can find you, and whether it's at the cafe, behind bar, Instagram, whatever.
So at Por Vida, usually Monday through Fridays in the mornings, you'll find me there. And then my Instagram is baristocrat619. So that's like aristocrat with a B in the front.
Sick.
And then 619, and then that's probably like the most social media that I use.
Sick.
Yeah, on Instagram.
Perfect. Yeah. Dude, well, thank you so much for coming on the show, Manny.
Yeah.
It was fucking sick as fuck, and I can't wait to actually come and see you while you're actually working. I want to
get down for you.
I want to I want to see it, bro. I'm just going to have to come before work. What time do you guys open? 6?
We open at 7.
7? Yeah. Okay, well, I'll just have to show up late to work.
I'll be there, yeah.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.